All right, good morning, good evening, good night. NFT Live Web3 Network, another week in Web3. Listen, we weren't here yesterday, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Biggie, I'm hearing the music. I get it. It's unfortunate,
It
but
hurts.
it's big time. We lost Jimmy Buffett.
A
We lost
legend.
the leader, the lead singer of Smash Mouth, another legend.
Damn.
It was a tough week, but yes, Jimmy Buffett there. Big shout out. I wish we could have played his music to start. Listen, we have a lot. Like, the dashboard is as full as I've seen it here to start the week. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed Labor Day. If you do celebrate that, or you are in the US, if not, have a good Tuesday here with us. We're excited to get it started. I'm going to go ahead and start with Biggie Poppins. Biggie, what's up, man? Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Well, it is in honor of Jimmy Buffett. I was a big fan. I think more degens could use a little Jimmy Buffett in their lives. If you can't touch grass, listen to some Jimmy Buffett, in my opinion. It's a great, eventful weekend. Lots and lots to talk about. I can't wait to dig into it.
All right, Gifdead, fresh off, by the way, the show with Parallel co-founder Mr. Gone. We had him on the channel all the years ago, and then he randomly just hopped on a Twitter Spaces with us this morning, the GM Web3 morning show, and we had about an hour with him. We might get him tomorrow, but how was that Spaces this morning, Gif? How you feeling?
It was awesome, man. Very unexpected. I just put out the tweet last night. Got to shout out Tony Bravado, who pinged him, just made it happen. And yeah, we got over an hour with the founder of Parallel TCG and got to dig into some of the weeds a little bit on that game, which I know Q and I at least have been really getting into. I got through my rookie queue and my first, ranked matches last night. Only won 3 out of 10, but I came in at gold ahead of Q apparently. So don't worry, he's uninstalling literally right now. He's looking down.
I'm actually, the more we talk about that, the more I'm pissed.
But it was a great combo, and I hope we get him on the show more because there's not that many Web3 games that are really doing well or have created something that's deep and interesting, that's capturing people's imaginations. What I thought was really cool about getting to talk to him was learn a little bit about his background as both a big fan of trading card and tabletop games and a mathematician. So his background is actually really well suited to create an epic trading card game. But then he had to figure out how to bootstrap basically a video game company, a digital game out of this. And that's why it's, taken several years of development to get into this closed beta stage. So anyway, it was a great combo. Long story short, happy to be back with you, Nifty Q, and Biggie Poppins, and all of the tribe, our vibe, our tribe. Hope y'all had a great long weekend.
All right, I'm seeing Easy and Crypto in here first. Quantum Variant saying like it first, you can take it back later. I agree with that. Prodigy saying hurry up. We're getting there. Darren Pacheco, been a minute. What's up, guys? We're going to have a great, fantastic episode. If you do not know what we're doing here on today's episode of NFT Live, we're bringing you all the latest news from around the NFT space. We're bringing it into one episode. I've got some fantastic co-hosts up here that give their awesome takes as well. And we do that all within, hopefully, an hour to hour and 15 minutes. We've been going over a little bit here, but we want to package that together. So without further ado, we are going to get into some of the breaking news. But before that, we're not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. Please do not take what we do up here and say and go invest based on that information. You'd probably be wrecked if you did it anyways. But we need to make sure that we say that right in the beginning of the episode. So we will be off and running. A lot of stuff to cover. I don't even know where to start. We have some macro news that I would love to touch on. Metamask came out and basically is going to be competing with Coinbase. Like, that to me is the biggest news of the day. Creator League drama. We had some drama with Mr.Beast over there in the Web3 gaming sector. Machi's buying up some huge mutants. So we're getting to all of this. Like, there's so much. Twelvefold came out here. I guess Yuga Labs is coming out with another collection that has a little bit of I need to make sure I'm using the right terms here. I'm not a cryptographer, but a puzzle type collection that they've put out. Visa is partnering with Solana, so you can get the picture of what we're about to get into today. And there's plenty of other stuff. But I think the biggest thing that I would love to start out with, guys, and the biggest news to rock this community has to be the Nakamigos versus Gifdead all-time.
Wow.
Just heavyweight bout. This is the craziest shit that happened this weekend by far.
Gifdead, you're really trying to rub this in. You're not letting this go. You're not letting it go.
His PFP. You can see this is our man, the DBs, the Web3
gave up.
Gave up everything. You tell me, Gift. This is your story. What's going on, man?
I need to know, man.
Okay, the gist of it is that I think founders should actually really care right now when people take the enormous step of changing their PFP to their collection. That's the gist of it. And I was basically, I'm calling it snubbed because they saw it and didn't really engage with it. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic. You know, I had like Snepsit and others being like, this is what they do. Like, it's not personal. And I'm like, okay. But the gist of it is they saw my tweet that I had a new profile, didn't like it, didn't comment, no engagement, whatever. They just took the art and then reposted it to their account without even acknowledging that I switched my PFP or posted it or anything. And I felt kind of like a certain way about that, you know, just kind of like, yo, you couldn't even put a like on it. You couldn't even be like, hey, awesome, glad you changed it on mine before you reposted it. I just felt like, as far as like a community management standpoint goes, it was kind of a miss and a shitty way to go about doing it. But it got me further into thinking as I lost my blue check, probably injured my tweet cred.
Folks. He's stuck. Wow. He cannot change his PFP, even though
I can't even change it. I can't even change it back because once you're in the queue to get reviewed for blue checks, you can't change it again. And it actually hurts your tweet cred that we now know your algorithmic reputation score on X whenever you change it too much. So all of this is to say, I think founders should really, really be incentivizing and counter programming against the disincentive to change your PFP with incentivizing people to change their PFP. And the easiest, lowest hanging fruit of like way to do that is to welcome people and say, give them a warm hug and be like, yo, we're happy to fucking have you in the community. And Naka's really flubbed that shit. And so it made me just be like, I'm going to floor it and get the fuck out. I mean, I still have a soft space in my heart. I'm being a little bit hyperbolic. I still like the Nakas. I still think that they're probably going to be around. But it did make me feel kind of away, especially, again, losing my ability to change it, losing my blue check, and them seeing it and just not even, like, engaging. I was kind of like, damn, all right.
Gift versus Nakamigos is my favorite arc right now.
Why though? Just tell me why. Like
this on the backs of Naka's completely going what I would call right now in a bear market parabolic, right? 50% up over the week here at 0.44. They were sitting at like 0.26 maybe like 2 months ago. They have had a run up. There is another collection called the Cloaks that is potentially running up in here. But Biggie, what's your take here? Did Gifdead get fudded by the Nakamigos?
First of all, my friend, such a beautiful person. You should have stuck with the burbs, my friend. But you know, I've been really interested with the Nakas for a little while now after having snubbed them initially. And, you know, I recall my man Gif being like one of the first to shout him out when they started minting before they were anything. I mean, it kind of feels, I understand that, you know, like I get it. Like sometimes you're busy, you can't do a like, you can't do a fucking retweet, whatever, what have you. But yeah, it is a very low effort, quick way to kind of make people feel welcome, right? And I understand you can't do it for everybody, but man, for my man Gif, like a longtime supporter, I mean, that's a miss on their part. So I'm with Gif on that. I don't blame him for feeling a little bit like lukewarm about the community, you know, and you know, it's their loss, brother. It's their loss. Come on back to the burbs.
We're making. Are you potentially changing it to a Moonbirds? Because now you're going to get hurt with changing it from a Nakamigos if you do. So
I will, but see, now I feel like I must, because I didn't feel welcomed in. And Biggie, I actually probably would have gone straight to the Moonbird Mythic, but I still am waiting for my second oddity to burn, and I want to see if I get thanks, bro. I know it does. Yeah, but I wanted to see what that one looked like first. So there's a good chance that if it burns and I like that second one better, that I do switch to a Mythic.
All right, so we will be following that developing story over the coming weeks. Nakas versus Gifdead. You guys should like fight in an arena in Dubai or something. I do want to get to the MetaMask news. I have some quick pieces. Biggie, if you've got any links you want me to pull up, let me know. I know we have a bunch of them down there in the dashboard.
Yo, do it.
The Grimace PFPs have been claimed.
Yo,
Brian Brinkman saying, devastated that official Mickey D's Grimace PFP collections is soulbound, was only available in Singapore. Listen, this is the situation. Grimace PFPs are going to be one of the most valuable PFPs in the next run. They're going to be worth like 500K a pop. You're going to be sitting there wishing you sold your Nakamigos at 0.44. Unfortunate for you. You couldn't get in.
No, so actually though, I want to also say
right now.
I got to look at this.
Look, we got to look at it. I want to say I was the first one to call these out as being like really bullish on it. But Q, now that you're saying it and Brian Brinkman's tweeting about it, it becomes more real, because here's the thing. These are so silly and hard to get. The friction to getting these is so ridiculous that if you can actually verify that you have one, like a Hex Gang Grimace PFP, I don't know if it'll get to 500,000 Q. That's a bold prediction right there. But I do think that, like, people think that I was just joking entirely. I fucking want one of these. And if you don't, like, I think you're not understanding, like,
wait, but so like this is a situation like you have to like KYC, show a Singapore driver's license, or like VPN won't suffice this time around. What's going on?
I believe it was. I think there's like some component there because VPN would have been the move. Now that you say it, although you know, again, not financial advice. I'm looking up these Grimace NFTs. I'm seeing what the situation is here. What's the update? I do wonder how you end up getting your hands on one, because they're soulbound. You clearly are trying to buy the private keys of some folks in Singapore.
Dude, wow. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, these Grimace PFPs, people think that it's all a joke right now, but in this next run, they're gonna be trading. I don't know. I don't know for how much. I'm not gonna say, you know, $500,000. I'm not ready to say that. I think these are going to be trading. I think these are actually going to be fucking legit.
Okay, we have to move on because we do have a bunch of topics to get to on the dashboard here. This is what the current market looks like, okay? Like, we do see a little bit of crabbing out. I think Miladies has been the most hard hit on this, like, little, you know, people want to call it a dead cat bounce for NFT collections and PFPs, but Miladies definitely is hit. We see a little bit of a retracement here. So, for example, Azuki's is down 7%, Elementals is down 10%, but Oniforce continues its rise, up 16%, CloneX up 13%. Let's see, Winds of Yawanawa has to be the biggest winner. So my man Biggie Poppins here sitting with 2 or more. We don't even know at this point. This man is just getting after it on the art front. Not to mention his play this weekend.
Is it more than 5?
We're not going to get.
I ain't saying.
Hey,
oh wow!
Easy. We don't want to be labeled slime balls here early in the episode. Okay. So CryptoPunk's up 20%. So it's relatively good on that front. Crypto. I haven't looked at the CoinGecko chart here today to take a look. It looks like it's, you know, held pretty standard after pulling back after that big run up after the SEC's L pieces of news. So that's what the crypto market looks like today. Nothing too crazy. I wanted to bring Chainlink God's tweet in here. This is a pretty big profile, at least on the altcoin front here. Maybe not so much NFTs, but he was definitely a big profile. I want to read this off to you guys because I think it lays out where we're at in the crypto landscape and therefore the NFT landscape, right? So he's saying the reality is that there is no new money coming into crypto at the moment. Retail is wrecked and normies mostly think crypto is a scam. Funds are largely wrecked and capital inflow is significantly slowed down. We know that for sure on the VC front. institutions are largely on the sidelines waiting for regulatory clarity. It's pure PvP for traders with meme coins, and most projects are in survival mode, with those who didn't build a good diversified treasury during the bull now struggling. It seems like to me institutions are the most likely to be the next wave of capital to enter the crypto economy. The SEC has been hit with L's lately on the Ripple token, not a security, and Grayscale, closer to BTC spot ETF cases. Other non-regions like the EU, UK, Hong Kong are driving towards greater regulatory clarity and yada, yada, yada. So, TLDR, no new money. Institutions are going to be the ones that drive the next wave of adoption. I'll drop that in the chat for y'all. Any takes on Chainlink's?
What a Debbie Downer, bro. What a Debbie Downer, man. That's somebody that did not touch grass. He must have taken a couple of L's this week. And I get it. It's hard. Boo fucking who. That's the price of admission to being early, motherfucker. Just stop fucking whining and build, bitch. Done.
Yo,
that's my take.
This guy touched some grass. Clearly, Biggie came in on one today, and I'm loving it. That's also a McDonald's reference. If you didn't catch it, look, I just want to say that everything that he's saying in there sounds accurate, and it sounds like the same stuff that we've been saying for the last 6 months. So if you want to be in the weeds and know what's happening first before it gets out to X and other apps, literally months before, this is the spot, man. We are on the pulse ahead of everything that happens in this space, months ahead of time. It feels like this whole year we've been that way. So we've been saying the same shit for literally months, because we were doing the NFT Go bag check every day, looking at the liquidity actively leaving. we knew what was happening, because we check in on our bags and talk about this every single day. So that's all I'll say.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next piece here. This was, in my opinion, the biggest news of the day, which is that Metamask rolls out an ability to sell into fiat, to transfer to your brick and mortar bank. This is a MetaMask that hasn't looked that functionally different. I mean, Cairo had his incident and they were like, oh God, we need to do something. So they introduced a whole bunch of features to add security and all that stuff. But MetaMask doesn't look that much different than it did back in 2016 when they first got founded. And now they're trying to compete with Coinbase and likely will to some extent. We know Coinbase is a goddamn behemoth. They're not going to die from this. But how big is this news? And we will play the trailer, folks. We will. What do you got, guys? Or do you want to watch the trailer first?
Let's watch the trailer. Trailer maxis for life, bro.
Trailer maxis.
I judge them on the quality of their trailer.
I will KYC my wallet if this trailer's good.
I'm already not too impressed, to be honest.
I need a rating after this. Let's see it. Okay. Music's fire, though.
Cashing out.
MetaMask portfolio, I yield the floor.
I have an issue with okay, so they have the little Casey Neistat tune, which is fine. I like it, bubbly, fun, and all that. And then I do have an issue with that hand. It's full of warts. Why?
Oh, you're not wrong.
Why is it look at that shit. Dude.
Maybe it's a dinosaur.
Because we're all just monsters. The only people that use crypto are all scammers, fraudsters, and absolute fucking monsters. No, that's an interesting point. It's they're oh, this is all for just the NFT crowd, right? So they're all PFPs. They all weird creatures. So I feel a little bit pandered to it in an awkward way that I don't know that hits. I hadn't even really thought about it that much, but you brought it up, and now I can't unsee the weird warty hand, the pink warty hand is weird.
Right?
Is that the invisible?
Is this where we're going, guys? This is where we're going with this.
So here's what I'll say about this trailer. I didn't like it at all because you didn't tell me. You really didn't lean into the like, why is this better than the existing option? Like, okay, I get it. It's another way to cash out. You showed me how to do it. And then at the end, it kind of briefly says low fees or something like that. The only reason that I'm going to change to doing this instead of using Coinbase is because I'm saving money on fees. And it's like a one step that I'm saving that's saving me a little bit of capital on fees. That's the only reason. If you can convince me that it's way faster and like saves me time and money doing this, okay, cool. Otherwise, like, why am I going to change what I'm doing?
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. This is an interactive map that is the front end for this new portfolio.
Yeah, this is too much.
There's an NFT, there's a pudgy penguin and a Azuki in there, it looks like.
Yeah. I feel like they I mean, obviously you can't go through the whole entire like flow of doing this, right? But the one that immediately just is missing there, and that it's the first one that I think about is like, yeah, what's, I'm sure like once you're all set up and KYC'd, AML and all that, it's as simple as just clicking all those little buttons. But what is the initial setup like, right? Because I'm already set up on Coinbase. And, to your point, Gif, like, I don't know how much I'm going to save on fees. And I know neither of these companies are have the best customer service in the world. But I still feel a little more comfortable like reaching out to Coinbase than Metamask about like, hey, what happened? My funds are stuck or this or that. I don't know. Like, it's cool. I like having options. Thank you, Metamask. Much appreciated. We need that. But yeah.
To the decentralization maxis are like, oh my God, I'm going to have to KYC now. It's like, listen, if you sent from your current MetaMask wallet to Coinbase, they can find you, big dog. Sorry. Like if they want to get you, they will get you. So if you've connected your MetaMask to your Coinbase, now if you haven't, if you're living off the grid or you're figuring out some other way, then yes, maybe you do not want to do this, because I likely, and a lot of the community is saying the same thing, guys, is this is their kind of soft launch into KYCing. There's going to be some KYC feature that there's going to be on now new downloads of the app and things like this. So
bet your bottom dollar. And how much do you want to bet it's going to be that annoying like facial scan thing that they always make you do, and that is like, it's always horrible. Like you have to do it like 4 or 5 times. Sometimes I have to reach out to them and be like, dude, how many more scans of my face do you fucking need? Anyways.
Yeah. Well, we also know we've been seeing in the US specifically recent regulatory bills and things coming to light around requiring everybody to KYC, like even DeFi platforms like Uniswap and shit. And this has been one of the biggest concerns right now, is that if these types of bills are passed that require literally like every single decentralized application to KYC, it's just going to put crypto into like such a hurt locker, like so much worse of a position it's already in, because most people aren't going to do that to use a lot of these apps.
For Americans, right? To be clear.
Yeah,
we're
talking about
the
US,
rest of the world is
US.
Sailing along, no problem.
All right, so I dropped a poll in chat. Will you use MetaMask to cash out? All of y'all did interact, hopefully, with the GM post. Again, this is NFT Live. We are square in the middle of our episode here. Thank you guys for tuning in early to this. If you're tuning in on Twitch, if you're tuning in on X, if you're tuning in on YouTube, now or after, we appreciate y'all so much. Our Vibe, our tribe. Definitely leave a like if you like the content. But I did drop that poll. I want to, ask that to my co-host up here. Are you going to be using MetaMask cash out feature? And then Quantum Very did ask a very specific question. is Coinbase on that list? Because they're using different providers. I think they mentioned PayPal. I saw MoonPay on that list as well. So I definitely want to dive into at least those details of who they're actually using to, facilitate this task.
So I used to practice having as many options as I could. And back in the day, I have accounts with a lot of like these decks, these different exchanges, right? But since then I've kind of like pumped the brakes on that quite a bit, and for no particular reason other than they constantly get fucking hacked and spill my information into the fucking dark webs. So no, I'm not giving my information to yet another entity so they can swipe my shit. So no, I'm happy with the ones I have. Unless it's absolutely necessary, I will not open one.
Yeah, I actually really love this take by Biggie because there is additional risk. It's not just the friction of like scanning your face and the annoying part. There's actual risk every time that you provide your personal info and KYC with any of these companies. Because to your point, a lot of this info is constantly being fucking leaked, hacked, shared. So to me, again, I'll just say kind of what I'm saying already, which is that unless you give me enough reason why this is a better alternative to what I'm already doing and where I've already KYC'd, there's no reason for me to do this. I have a system that works. I've already KYC'd with Coinbase. You've got to be saving me a lot of time, a fair amount of money for me to actually feel like I need to do this KYC as well.
All right, we are going to move on to the next piece. I've got that poll running. 100% of y'all up to this point have said no to that poll. So maybe it's not as big a news piece as I thought it was, if not a lot of people are going to actually use the feature. That brings me to, wrapping up this conversation on MetaMask. Who is the desired user base for this? Because it reminds me of the concept that people are using MetaMask to actually swap and paying an additional fee. Or like, I don't do that. I would never pay MetaMask to use that fee when I could just go to Uniswap and do the exact same thing. But maybe there are some folks who will be using this, and it'll be an additional revenue stream for a company that's done extremely well. To be
so their target audience, like, dude, you pulled up their website and then looking at again the hand in the video. Their target audience is clearly young degens between 18 to 35 or 18 to 34. I don't know what percent. It would be really interesting to know, but I'm sure there is some percentage of MetaMask users that have gotten their crypto into MetaMask either through credit card or some other crypto wallet that they had, have bought some NFTs, have some crypto there, that have never set up a Coinbase or some other kind of like off ramp like that into a bank account. So I bet there's probably like 10 to 15 to 20% of people that own assets on there that don't have a Coinbase or some other off ramp that they normally use like that. I think that's really the target market for this. Is they're saying like, yo, not only might we be able to possibly get a few of those people that are already using Coinbase, et cetera, but we can just provide an off ramp to people that don't already have it set up yet that are using MetaMask.
All right, we are moving on and into something a little bit related here with payments and all this talk on currency and stuff like that. We do have a big announcement from Visa and Solana. Solana's been killing it. They just had some USDC integrations. I believe that was what we covered about 2 weeks ago. And now they are coming out and saying we're expanding that stablecoin settlement layer to Solana. And those merchants that will be able to use USDC will be doing so as well on Solana. So right away, right off the cuff, I'm just going to read directly from the Business Wire breaking piece. Let's see. Visa, a global leader in payments, announced its next step in modernizing cross-border payments. Visa is expanding its stablecoin settlement capabilities to the high-performing Solana blockchain and is working with merchant acquirers WorldPlay and Nouvelle. Through live pilots with issuers and acquirers, Visa has already moved millions of USDT between its partners over the Solana and Ethereum blockchain networks to settle fiat-denominated payments authorized on VisaNet. And the last bit here, By leveraging stablecoins like USDC and global chain networks like Solana and Ethereum, we're helping to improve the speed of cross-border settlement and provide a modern option for our clients to easily send or receive funds from the treasury. So any reading between the lines here, other than the obviously a big dub for Solana again, like they are doing stuff on the infrastructure and Rails like layer. Like we cover a lot of the PFP space here. We cover a lot of like the culture, and Solana seems to be kind of not having the biggest wins there, although there are obviously communities that are doing so. I think Saigo from Shrapnel, they're doing some good work. We obviously bring up Claynosaurs here on the channel, but from an infrastructure, from a Rails, from maybe a DeFi layer component, maybe they're making some waves here. So if you guys reading between the lines here on Visa and Solana.
Well, that was their initial reason for being, right? Like DeFi and finance, right? And so I think they're definitely, continue to work there, and it's great to see a company like Visa embrace. I think it definitely validates their tech and whatever it is they're doing. There's benefits to it, so it's beautiful to see, man. This is a good thing for Solana. I'm happy for them. Happy for Solana.
I'd love to pull up the chart and see what's happening there if you have it, or if not, I can pull it up just to see if Solana is getting any sort of activity or bump off of this news. Because I do think that this, Visa is probably the biggest payments processor in the world. I mean, it's a massive financial infrastructural component to the world's economy, right? So to have integration there is a big win, I think. It just means that the viability of Solana projects and applications is now much stronger across the board, right? Like whether that's DeFi, NFTs, or anything, if you're building in the Solana ecosystem, you're going to have more access to capital, and more people are going to have more use cases and reasons to be there. That's how I see it. So congratulations to all the Sol Maxis out there. Seems like a big win.
All right. Again, this comes on the heels of the USDC integration that they talked about here about a month ago. I think they were claiming at the time, the folks that were getting that done, that payments were the main use case for blockchain technology. Whenever we're looking for that utility, they basically said, hey, we already have it here. So they're building that out there on Solana. All right, moving on, folks, because we do have a big news day. Machi's been on a Mega Mutant buying spree each, I believe, of these zombies, although one went for more. I think it was 500 and 250, I believe. I know you guys have been following. This has been all over the
NFT. One of them was like 800K, or maybe I missed that. You're saying 500 ETH?
Yes, 500 ETH and 250 ETH. I was listening to the Lucky Trader Spaces this morning that one of the co-hosts made an interesting point that's not like, again, the obvious, like, oh, Machi's, being the big dog in NFTs again because he's got a ton of money, all that stuff. She was basically saying that like it's bad when a whale acquires NFTs in a large amount, not just because of floor price like we saw with Blur, but the fact that they can control the narrative or takes away the ability for other folks to join that community and therefore like proliferate the IP. I actually didn't.
Centralization. It's literally the concerns with any sort of centralization. You can have that within any token if it's too centralized.
Specifically when there's culture related. The one thing I would push back on that, and the reason I bring it up is because I feel like Yuga is one where they have so many assets now. Like if it was just Bored Apes and Mutants, or it was just Bored Apes and like Machi was buying up 1,000 of them, it would be a little bit different for me. They have so many different avenues to access the community now that I think we're far beyond that point with at least Yuga. But maybe it's a fair question to bring to other collections. Like if Machi bought up 10% of another collection, is that hurting the chance that they could proliferate the community? Not just the floor price. Like I feel like that's the discussion we've had. But does it hurt the community?
I think that anytime that you are sweeping floors, like any single entity sweeps a floor to the extent that they're controlling a large percentage of the supply, I think is not good for anything other than floor price in the short term. So yes, you can be like, hey, look, they just swept up the floor. So my small bag of 1 to 5 NFTs, it just 3x'd. It's like, okay, cool. But now that project may or may not be good because somehow like more people have to come in and buy them out of that person for now a 3x price for it to actually grow at all. So you kind of put yourself into a corner and a pigeonhole where it becomes very, very difficult then for the community to continue to grow and not just become more centralized or kind of die out slowly. So it seems like it's good short term. I don't think that it's good long term to have the unique holder ratio going down.
Valves, it's good to see you there over on Twitch. Appreciate you showing up. Biggie, your take on Machi and Gift's point here.
Well, I think like it's a two-sided, sword. It's these things happen in publicly traded companies all the time where you have to, just keep tabs on like who the majority shareholders are and who you allow to come into on the board, right? And make like crucial decisions. It depends on, I think, the person, right? And the thing with Machi and like the Justin Sons of the world, it's like, they're a little bit controversial because although they have a lot of buying power, they don't usually display like the constitution that agrees with this space very much, like let's just say they're not game players. I would say I'm suspicious of them. And so that definitely does not bode well. Whenever you have these guys buy up a whole bunch of supply where they'll have a lot of weight to throw around within those communities and to dictate, like you said, whether it's the selling price or vote on particular initiatives, stuff like that. But we'll see how it plays out. I mean, in the short term, like Gift said, yeah, it's great, right? It kind of stabilizes prices. It maybe gives a little bit of hope, but then look who's holding.
Yeah. So I think, Prodigy is bringing up a good question and something that we talk about a lot here, which is the difference between gatekeeping and curation. Not all gatekeeping is curation and not all curation is gatekeeping. If we were to actually have any sort of power and then use that power to stop people from buying certain NFTs, that would be gatekeeping. We don't have that power. All we can do is discuss what we think is good or bad or better or worse for projects that we're interested in. That's trying to curate information and make wise decisions. We don't actually have any gatekeeping power about what Machi's going to do. We can't tell him what to do. We can't tell anybody whether or not to go buy 20% of a collection, right? So there's no gatekeeping power here. All we're trying to do is like discuss what we think is best and what makes us more bullish or less bullish on the longevity of a project.
Yeah, the question comes more from, if you're in that community, how do you feel, right? Like, are you feeling a little bit skeptical? Are you not? Does it matter? That's more the kind of ethos of that discussion. I think at some point when you do have a loud enough voice, you have the ability to have impact on, I don't know if it's somebody like Machi who's like completely at this point just unhinged, but the bigger voice you have, even saying something out loud can prevent somebody from doing something or not.
But that's still not gatekeeping, and this is where the confusion comes in, because unless you have the power to stop somebody from doing something, you are not gatekeeping. You can use your, like, people do this all the time, literally, like we do it. Anybody who is tweeting anything about anything that they care about is doing this. People can share information, use their platforms to try and get their ideas ahead. That's literally what social media is used for. Every single person in the space is out there pushing their own narratives and their own brands and their own agendas constantly. Some of those get more traction than others. But unless you're the person actually pulling the levers of saying who can take an action or not, you're not technically gatekeeping.
I can see Prodigy's point, though. It's gatekeeper energy. right? Like you don't want to have gatekeeper energy.
I think it's okay, maybe a little bit, but I think it's more into the what are they? Not in my backyard, the NIMBYs. It's more of a NIMBY thing, and NIMBYs have sort of a gatekeeper energy sometimes. I agree with that. But people throw around gatekeeper like they use the word rug, where it's like it's misapplied to a lot of situations that I think are more like a curatorial, editorial, position where you have no real power to stop anybody from doing anything that they want. They can listen to your idea or not. If you're not the one that's like writing the smart contract or opening up the Discord or taking the action that says you can do this, that's gatekeeping.
All right, so I'm going to move on into some other Yuga news. We have like back-to-back Yuga pieces here. I'm going to try to do them in a lightning fashion because we didn't have an episode, I believe. Did we have an episode on Thursday? Did we do it? I think we did.
I believe we did.
We did, yeah.
We did.
And we didn't have an episode on Friday. Then we didn't do it on a Monday. That is yesterday. So a lot of news hit over that period when it comes to Yuga. Some just hitting this morning. I did want to give a brief shout out. It looks like these Gucci codependents did start shipping out. It's pretty cool to see that digiphysical component. You do have these Gucci pendants or these codependents that are actually on the codas on the NFT as metadata as well. That's what's really cool about this concept. You can have it in IRL. You can have it on your coda as the metadata. We also saw a huge Forge gaming update. This is extremely into the complexity chasm. So complexity chasm warning, I'm going to drop this in chat. But we do have a hunt update that shows us that it's not just going to be a point and click. Some people were fearing that just like the Heavy Metal Forge right now, you're essentially going to, with this big raid at the end of season 3, that we were going to just click on maybe a transaction and your heavy metal was going to go away. You weren't going to get it to interact at all and all that stuff. Now that has been shown to not be true. So that's good. But the issue here is just like any game that has any complexity, there's a lot to this. So I'm just going to briefly just even scroll down. I have no time to get into all of this stuff. But you can see there's going to be item slots. There's going to be fighters, crafters, or explorers. There's going to be different raids that you can get into that you'll have to complete before you get to the 5th raid. Let's see. You can see the movement component here. A lot of this looks like Pokemon. So if you ever play Pokemon and you've gone out into the wild, you actually run into different opponents, which is what I gathered from looking at this. So if I go ahead and go into the fighting component, which I can get to, you can see there's different characters here that you'll be fighting to survive. And you can see all of a sudden you happen upon a different opponent. And that's very Pokemon-like. Kind of scrolling back here, there's a lot of info on crafting. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of info on crafting. So you have to go in that yourself, different items, make different materials, which are going to be equipped to your heavies while you're out there raiding. There is a really awesome update here for those of you that are Coda holders, Mutant Ape holders, Bored Ape Yacht Club holders. Let me make sure I get to it. A BAYC, MAYC, BAKC will provide additional benefits to your heavies when entering the Rift. And obviously in descending order there, you can get different things. So again, a huge update here from Heavy Metal and Forge. I'll be jumping in or later this week to make sure that I am ready to actually have my energy component be
I'm so not ready
at full capacity. And I'll be, jumping into the Forge. I'll be here on the channel streaming it live as well. We don't know all the details. Of course, everybody's going to unpack all of this shit and have the details. I think the Other Side Space or Other Space FM from Baron Von Hustle and Sean Nana is a must listen on Thursday. Like whenever they have that, I believe it's like at 1 p.m. Eastern. You have to listen to that if you're looking at all to see the update here for Heavy Metal Forge, because it's huge. It's a complexity chasm up to the highest I've seen.
I'm so not ready. And I tried to start playing again, and then literally as soon as I got back into my forges, the server was down for maintenance. So I'm just like, I have not improved at all from last week. And at this point, I'm concerned that I am going to miss out on the Rift action. So yes, as much as we can do some more catch up and Yuga show this week, we got to do it this week because this is a big week.
All right, Biggie, I'm going to show one last piece here from Yuga Labs. Any take on Heavy Metal Forge before I do that?
Do it. It looks great. That's all I got to say. I haven't played it. I'm sorry. I'm Yuga-less, people. I'm Yuga-less. But like I always say in the channel, I'm a fan. And so once I see Dakota pendants, though, those look cool. I'm
glad you said that, Biggie, because I totally blanked on this just kind of getting into the raid, but today was actually my first day, ironically, not voting on my heavies. Like, I've been at it for about 12 weeks, folks, of just every day. So it's ironic that the raid starts. I do have to jump in and get enough energy, but I will not be making that epic amp there at the end of the season that I've got the previous one. So,
Kagi says he wants to come on and talk about Creator League.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, I'm down if he's good. All right. Can we get him an invite?
Let's see. We'll send you it on Discord. Last
reasons to stick around.
Last update here, folks. We will get to that Creator League fallout here with Kagi. Hopefully, that'd be dope. But we have a 12-fold update. So Bitcoin ordinals, like I don't think they're as hot, and I think that's saying it very nicely as they were when 12-fold launched. But you can see Yuga Labs coming out here. In February, we launched 12-fold 300 unique generative art pieces on Bitcoin blockchain. Today, we launched a cipher puzzle series inspired by the art at 12-fold/puzzle. Yes, there are prizes, and you currently don't need to own a 12-fold to participate. Of course, there are already degens that have solved this first puzzle. They're going to be putting it out each week. There is a winner or a reward for winners here in just a second. We can get to that. But takes on this 12-fold puzzle, if any, folks?
Is this going to be what brings ordinals back? Are we back?
I'm happy that they did it in partnership with Gamma, which is like a Stacks native protocol. And so, yeah, I was really happy to see that. Let's see what it turns out like, though.
So you can look, this announcement came like 3 hours ago. Within 30 minutes, you can see on this puzzle has been solved. Submissions are closed. They're going to have 12 of these that are coming. So if you're into cryptography, if you're into solving puzzles, we can definitely get you on the show if you'd love to come talk about 12-fold puzzles with us. But we're certainly not going to be the ones winning. Any thoughts on the art here?
I haven't been a super big fan of the 12-fold or this. I think they're just okay. Like I don't think it's particularly interesting or something that like I do think that there's something sort of iconic and simple about it that if you have it, people are probably going to recognize it. And Q, you often use the sort of the wall mount, the wall test. You're like, is this something I would hang on my wall and want to see when I walk down the hallway? Somebody might want to see something like this. So I give it credibility as it is visually interesting enough to be, a worthy piece of art and, some kind of collectible. I just personally don't love either of them that much. And I don't think that the art is really the focus as much as the collectible or the game or being early on ordinals and having a limited edition Yuga ordinal. I think that's, the prestige of getting into something like this is really the bigger part than the art right now for me. But I do think it's interesting to see Yuga continue to experiment with ordinals and different types of projects outside of the Bored Ape ecosystem and find like, where does their sort of gaming, the sort of utility gaming leaning brand of Yuga cross over into a more experimental art.
We've seen it with Parallel.
I think that's really interesting to me. And just to shout out a few other people. Prodigy saying, I'm ready for Rec League. Me too. Can't wait for more. Marty saying, I am a gatekeeper. If you're going to buy a squiggle, you better check with me. So there you go. Marty McFly, the squiggle gatekeeper over here. Cam Taylor saying, it's just okay, which is why it's not great. Tend to agree. Also, Easy in Crypto, glad to have you, saying stoked to catch some of the live after my meeting. So glad to have you and all the friends over here as we look through what's going on with this update from Twelvefold and Yuga. I did just want to also take a brief note just to say, you know, we were talking about Parallel with the founder today. Nifty Q, you and I have been digging deep into that over the last few days or week or so. Heavy Metal Forge is heating up. Biggie even says it looks fucking great. That's like moving into the next phases. You know, we have Prodigy over here talking about Rec League, which is coming down the pipe. I'm just starting to get more and more excited about Web3 gaming in general. I think a lot of people are, but it's like
here for sure.
I'm actually getting in and playing some of these now and like seeing cool graphics, cool experiences, cool tokenomics, you know, and I'm buying NFTs for this fucking game. It's exciting.
Yeah, we actually streamed the game yesterday here on the network. So we'll be doing more of this. I know some folks are jumping in saying, you know, what is this? What's going on? This isn't NFT live. But we stream multiple different forms of content, obviously, here on the network. And this was gameplay from Parallel. We went into some details as well. And then me and Prodigy decided we were going to lose some LP as well on League of Legends, just because I like the mixture. Like Kagi, I think, I don't know if it was Kagi or it was another influencer. I say influencer, Kagi. You're clearly a friend, but so take that not in the negative light. But another guy that was saying like, hey, we need to mix some of these, right? Like we can't just say we're going to play Web3 games. There needs to be a mixture at this point, at least. So we did a little bit of that. All right, we're going to get Kagi on here in just a second to talk about the fallout from the Creator League drama. I've gone through most of my stuff. There is some like bullish other macro news, but I think I hit on what I needed to today. Avagachi had an interesting update that I think Kagi covered. So once he jumps in here, he can do that. And then Crypto Dick Butts did have this announcement. We have been covering that kind of, we're leaving. The team is sunsetting and we're handing this off to the community. So we did get an announcement on September 1st. We'll be reaching out to applicants shortly. So we'll be following that as well as that handoff goes. I'm not the biggest here, this bullish take on that Crypto Dick Butts piece. But anyways, let's get Kagi on here in just a moment. Kagi, we got a couple more stories that we're going to hit for like the next 3 minutes, then jump in, dude. All right. Biggie, this is your time, man. You got 4 or 5 different links here. Which ones do you want me to hit on? Also, great call on Scam, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Another dub.
I was trying to get more people into it. It was one of those late night DGen plays. But yeah, I was able to catch that, and I'm very happy about it. Dude, just go down the list. I'll try to be quick. Okay. Yeah, this is Glitch Gallery's posters. I think this is something that y'all might want to keep tabs on. They started off selling pretty, like a couple of months ago. Every 30 days, they changed the poster up, and recently they ran up because the latest poster, if you got one, it's basically acts as a ticket for a raffle for a bold squiggle, which is beautiful in case you want to buy one for $132 at the moment. But I'm more interested in the set, in being a full set holder. I've been collecting them since the beginning, fully expecting something to come out of it. Community always is on my mind initially, especially when somebody like Derek Edwards is behind it. And they announced something of the sort just recently, and so I'm very much looking forward to the Marfa meetup because so far, from what I understand, there's like 108 full set holders only, and if you can see, based from the initial poster, which didn't sell out, it's only 1,000 pieces. There can only be about 332 full set holders. So this is the type of stuff that I like to follow up. Very inexpensive to get into, kind of under the radar, organic, growing. But looks like it's going to turn into something. So keep your eyes on this one, especially after the raffle. I think some of these posters, and after Marfa, they might come down a lot for a little bit, and you might want to get some, because if you're into art, this is a community you want to be a part of. So that's the first one. Yeah.
All right, let's fly through the rest of these. What do we got?
What's the next one?
Art tab.
Oh yeah, this is a nice little one that I found right now. You know, I'm all about art, discovering new artists, checking out cool art. This is really nice. Anytime you open a new tab on your browser, you can hook this up and, you know, get plugged into some cool interactive web browser art. I thought for our art aficionados, this was something really cool for you guys to check out.
These look like a lot of these look like generative art from Tezos. Like one of those looked like Gearheart that I own. Like I have the Gearheart. It was
Gearheart. It said Gearheart on it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So wait, can you go back? So that was a Twitter account, or what is Art Tab? What is this?
Yeah, it's called arttab.xyz, and you basically set it up for your browser, and you know, like every time you open a new tab, you get some really cool interactive generative art on your browser.
That's
and
dope.
Again, very cool way of like discovering new art.
Can you show the Twitter one more time? I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah, it's arttab.xyz.
Arttab.xyz. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's a cool little share nugget.
And this is really cool to me because I like right now we're still so early in finding the use cases and applications for a lot of this amazing generative art. But you're going to start to see as digital displays and applications continue to proliferate, you're going to start to see more use cases for a lot of this amazing art. And one of them right now is the Sphere in Vegas with Rafik Anadol, right? Like, that's a freaking amazing use case. I don't know if we can pull that up and show it real quick, but like, this is why I'm so bullish on like why I've been collecting Kim Asendorf over on Tezos. Like in there was Gearheart, there was a Kim Asendorf monogrid. I have both of those NFTs, and you're starting to see them just implemented into these awesome new use cases and displays and things like that. They're fucking cool, man. And when people actually get like to experience them in the right context, you start to get it. You're like, whoa, like this is dope.
So we covered Rafik Anadol and the Las Vegas Sphere. We actually finally get to see it live. This is actual live footage of generative art here on the
How
Las
cool
Vegas
is that,
Sphere.
man?
It's as big as a casino, bro.
This is still one of the craziest, I think, things that a human has ever built. In my opinion, like this specific thing, I'm sure there will be really cool examples of this in the future, but like the way in the medium that it's shown off in, like almost like an eyeball, right? Like protruding from the earth. It's absolutely wild. Like we've had big platforms before. You can go to New York City, go to Times Square, you can see the huge, video screens, but never something that looks spherical.
Bro,
like this, man.
This looks like a perfect loop parallel card for like an Earthen or a Cathari base.
Yeah.
Like straight up.
All right, we do look. We got to bring Kagi on in here because the biggest topic of the day, in my opinion, other than all of these really cool tools that Biggie's coming in and dropping, this is dope, is going to be that Creator League piece, and we do have to wrap the show up within the next 15 minutes. So, Biggie, fly through the rest of these. I do have 0-1 up here as well. So let's go.
So this is a really cool other little platform I've been collecting art on. Some of you may know about it. Some of you may not. It's really got a cool implementation. If you look for my name, Biggie, I have a little piece of art that I uploaded there. The way it works, you do not use ETH. You do not use gas. You just log on with your smart wallet. And basically you have to upload art. And then for every piece of art that you upload, you get 10 tokens. And then you can go and mint other pieces from other artists, and it's a really cool way to discover people doing really cool shit.
Well, the 80s montage, this is almost like Top Gun.
Dude. Hell yeah, dude.
All right.
Droids of Summer. Really cool way of a discovery tool. So
all right,
that's another one.
Kagi,
I got one more.
Yeah, Kagi, if you're listening, hop in right now, man. We'll get to this in just a moment. Yeah, let's get to the last two here.
All right, the second one is, so this is Patrick Amadon's September art catalog is really cool. Similar kind of concept. Got a whole bunch of artists to contribute art to the catalog, and now you have access to look at it. And I believe you can either look for the artists and mint them. I haven't explored it too much. I've just been looking at the cool art, and like another way to find talented artists putting out their stuff into the space. I think like this is kind of what you got to do to find like, you know, the next gems, the people that are doing interesting stuff. It's like, and I love that there's artists and other people doing this work to have, you know, to give avenues to new artists to come up and you know, take hold of the zeitgeist that we're going through at the moment.
Love that take. I just dropped all the links that Biggie's talking about. This last one, be quick with it again. And I'm sorry we didn't like leave more of this, but it's just a huge like.
That's fine, man. I always just like to leave these tidbits, you know.
This is the alpha right here.
This one hurt. This one hurt. Skulls of the Citadel. Biggie dropped it in our private chat, and I think it was like at 1:30 in the morning. I woke up. All of this was sold. I believe there's a supply of like 250, 300.
156.
Yeah, 256.
Yeah. So scam art, yeah. I mean, you know, Xcopy is obviously the king of glitch art, at least in the Web3 space. And there's you know, a lot of people are very big fans of glitch art. I think there's only a few that are doing really cool work. People like scam art, people like Solum, people like Bongdo. Just to name a few that you guys should check out if you're into glitch art. But this was a little bit of like a lucky thing, right? I logged on late at night, saw Cosmo tweet about it, and jumped on the trend really quick. I think you got one more link there, Q, if you want to just add it real quick.
Is this Xcopy?
No, this is scam art. The name of the artist is Scam Art, and it was really funny because like when people started tweeting these skulls art and being like, oh, I got scammed, you got a bunch of tweets like you know, replies in the bottom of just like all these bots trying to scam people, which was hilarious to see them come out in mass out of the woodwork for it. But it's got a vibe, man, and there's not many selling right now. I think there's like 26 listed, but they're really cool. They're all one of ones. Some of them are like a GIF, you know, motion graphic thing. The others are still, but it's sick. Really, really cool stuff. And then the last one, did you get the command one?
I did. Biggie hit us with 18 links here on
it was Tuesday. A long weekend. It was a long weekend. Yeah. And Biggie doesn't sleep. Crypto doesn't sleep. So catching up on the alpha.
So this is, I'm really happy to shout out my brethren in the bird community, the Dead Bird Society. They're builders in the space, one of the best sub-parliaments. And if you are a bird, a mythic, you are able to participate in this. Very similar to 01 community, except solely for birds. To uplift the artists and builders in our community, you can basically upload your piece of art. And very much like Grails, you do not get to know who the artist is. You get to vote. You get 3 votes and you vote on whichever artist you like, and in the end the winning artist gets to be minted only by the people that voted for the winning artist. And so it's a great place, you know, to bring up like new creators out into the space, and that's it. I rushed through it as fast as I could. Check all those out. Great way to get it, you know, imbibe some really good art.
A fantastic generative art, just an art breakdown as usual from Biggie Poppins. You want to listen to this guy. This guy has had, I mean, at least 3 wins in the past 2 weeks that I can see, let alone the last year here on the art.
Well, he came in extra cocky today. I don't know if you noticed. He came in with some extra bravado, with a
little extra change in his pocket,
a little swagger in his step. Because he's been hitting homers, but hey. Who's this though? What's up, Kagi?
It's that Winzy Yawanawa. Kagi, what's up, man? Your mic is muted.
Professionals. That's all we are. That's all we do.
We are always listen, do you know how many times Gifdead's come in here and been muted? It's been about as many times as I have. All right, we're working through some settings here.
Hello?
The juice is loose.
When sub to 1 ETH.
You had to start talking about my bags. Damn.
I lost them all, bro, in a hack, actually. Like,
no.
Well,
I spent
not worth that much.
At least 15 ETH in subtypes. And we're talking about ETH at fucking 3K or some shit like that. Like,
I bought one around like 0.12 just to have one now. So I have one. If it ever moons again, I'm in the game.
Dude,
I'm glad we got that out of the way very early on, because now we're going to talk about, oh wait, we still have some negative things to talk about. We have the Creator League fallout here. We had a MrBeast Creator League announcement that they weren't. I don't think they were announcing anything. They basically had NFTs and blockchain technology as part of this new. It's supposed to be like a new competitive gaming league, essentially, where you have influencers playing against each other and all these different things. Well, one creator said no. One guy came out and said, "I am not being part of this. I am pulling out. I'm pulling back because blockchain was enabled." We do have Kagi on here to break down his thoughts, but we're going to get a lot of our co-hosts' take as well. Let me briefly read off what he said. I'll just be real with you guys. I accepted to join the Creator League, not fully understanding the tech behind it. Needless to say, with the current info available, I'm planning on withdrawing. I was not told or made aware at any point that there was blockchain tech, and was only made aware of that info when the event went live. I was given assurances that it had nothing to do with NFTs. Given my vocal hatred of such tech, I would never agree to join. Had I known that, it's an embarrassing fuck up on my part to agree to promote this to my audience. I'm sorry. We'll talk about it more when I can. Take it away, boys.
Jesus, that was some clown ass. To be honest, that was super clown. I understand where these people are coming from. Like, I get it. I'm not against like them being against NFTs. I get it. There was a lot of scams here. There's a lot of headlines that are really bad. A lot of also influencers and content creators, whatever you want to call it, that were in Web 2, basically, with millions and millions of subscribers. And I can show you a little bit of that here. I actually have a tab open that came into Web 3 because they saw the future of it, but then also pulled out when everything went down. So you saw this massive influx of people from
tourists.
Tourists, basically. So it didn't stick because these people didn't stick to what they actually believed at the beginning. They saw something. They didn't come here and said, well, part of it was money, but you can't just go for something that is just about money, because in that case, they could just do any sponsorship. But this was like a sponsorship that kind of made sense to them, like digital
community.
No, but like, because I talked to some of these people, so I understand.
Kagi, you can drop me that link, or you can share your screen.
I can share my screen. So you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay. So, for example, Willie Rex. This is an acquaintance of mine, right? This guy has 2 channels at 18 million subscribers each. He uploads every single day. Every single day. This guy is on crack, basically, when it comes to content. Well, this guy, when NFTs came through, of course he came for the money, but he understood the value of NFTs. He understood that games, owning your assets in game made a lot of sense. And I was the one that taught him all of this in Web3. He actually hit me up in Discord. He used to join my live stream back in 2020. He was here before this blew up. He was watching my live streams in 2020, early 2020. So he hit me up on Discord and he told me, yo, can you explain to me all of this? This is interesting as hell. And of course, having 2 channels at 18 million, of course, they're going to hit him up. Of course. So you had a lot of these creators that came in. They showed to many audiences, to many people, NFTs, and then NFTs rugged. And obviously, people are going to get mad. Obviously, they're going to get mad. Now, right here, you can see that they fired some people to basically make up for the fuck up. I think is BS. All of this is BS.
Wow.
Yeah, they fired some people, some employees that were working on the Creator League right here.
That just hit an hour ago.
Yeah, and then some of the people that got laid off, you can see their tweets. I mean, this is a clown show. This is a clown show. Like, really,
it feels like a plant. Like you're letting people go based on one creator pulling out now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get this probably backlash.
Read the instructions. It was on him to do due diligence. You know,
I
Jesus.
mean, it's a clown show. But at the
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying he's basically turning his fuck up into a massive ordeal because he's engagement farming off of all of the hate around NFTs and around Web3 and all those people now that were gonna probably go along with this and not care. They would not have fucking really cared if this I don't want to call them the names I'm thinking right now. Let's just go with clown. If this clown had not said, like, I'm going to use this moment to engagement farm and try and build my brand or backpedal because I said some previous things because some of my audience is now like questioning me. If he hadn't used this moment to grandstand as a grand Luddite of this army of fucking Luddites online and turn this into a massive fucking PR issue, like nobody would fucking care. This would probably move forward and it would be digital collectibles, limited, you know, people would get exposed to Web3 and NFTs for the first time without even knowing, have a cool experience and then be like, oh, that was NFTs, just like the Reddit situation. But this guy, clown. Yeah, he made it about him.
Yeah, this is the first time that I have seen the discussion be brought up, and it's why I think it's super interesting. Because for the entire time from 22 beyond, and in this year that we've been in, we have seen projects like Reddit try to obfuscate even the term NFT. They call it digital collectible avatar. This was the way that we were going to onboard all of these folks. And this is the first time that I've seen the debate on the opposite side of that. Because what is essentially happening here is folks are finding out about these NFTs now. That's the term they're using. Hey, I found out that they're actually these digital collectibles, they're actually NFTs. And that actually is worse. And that's the debate, at least, that's worse than just coming out and saying, hey, these are NFTs. And I've seen some Web3 folks, some Web3 gamers say, hey, this is actually how we should be approaching the, normies, which is not the approach that I saw for the last 2 years. It's always been, okay, we saw how it worked out in 21. We cannot do that again. People hate the term NFT, so we're going to put it in the background. How do y'all feel about that debate right now? Because again, this is the first time I'm seeing, we should just come out and say it now instead.
Nah. We should be saying it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. We didn't have experiences back then. That's the problem. There was no experiences to attach these NFTs. Yes, we bought Bored Apes. Yes, we bought Cyberconks. Yes, we bought Subdogs. It was all promises. It was all yada, 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 yada. Of course, people are going to be like, what is this? But now we're so advanced. Now we're creating experiences for real. We have platforms where you can go and find good games. You now have brands that are building like Ape that have, I don't know, like 3 or 4 games out now. We're almost there. We're really almost there. I don't think there's a need to hide anything. And as a matter of fact, I think this hate is even better. So they know we're here. They know we're here. Now it's even worse for them because now they know that we're building cool stuff with NFTs. Although they hate it, they know. So I see it as a positive, to be honest.
But Kagi, doesn't this piss you off? I mean, you're here through the bear market building. You understand the technology, and you're looking for ways to leverage it and serve your community, give them better functionality. I mean, this was supposed to be a win for the NEAR community. I'm very passionate about that blockchain, and because of this fucking half-assed, uninformed cunt, like all of a sudden, it turns into like a complete shit show. And it pisses me off because I think like a lot of these people are drawn with dollar signs in their eyes and they just want to ride a trend. But other than that, they do not inform themselves. They're not serving their community in any which way or trying to find out what this technology or space is all about. And I don't know, it boils my fucking blood, man.
I'll tell you what bothers me more. What bothers me more is the people in Web3 pretending to believe in this and flip-flopping. That's what bothers me even more. Why not just go up to them and be like, look, we're going to use this tech, right? It's Web3 tech. We don't have to mention it if you guys don't want to, but this is how it works straight up, right? In the future, we can do something else with it once people get accustomed to it, yada, yada, yada. And if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But this obfuscating and then trying to get that gotcha moment like Reddit worked. But I don't like that gotcha moment.
I like it because it offers an option. If the folks want to stay in their normie world, do it. If they don't, and they actually say, I'm kind of interested, I can opt into it. I like the idea of being opted in for these folks that maybe don't want to be opted in. That's where I see where Reddit collectibles actually hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. So I lean more towards
But they got lucky. If they would have known the Reddit community, they would have destroyed them.
I think it's to that point. I think it's going to be harder moving forward to do this obfuscation.
Maybe.
But I think to me, it's more important with your business partners, the people that you're signing contracts with that are going to be promoting and shit. Like, you got to be super fucking up front with all of them. You shouldn't be trying to obfuscate with the people that you're, getting to shill your products for you that don't know what it is. But I think Kagi, you brought up an interesting point in a roundabout way, which is still to this day, there's not enough of these projects, founders, communities, companies, and brands investing enough in the educational component. Because if we could actually educate a little bit better so that people aren't just scared of this fucking boogeyman NFT that they don't even understand. People are viscerally hating NFTs, Web3 tech, blockchain, just because they think all of it's a scam, because they don't actually understand it. They're scared of what they don't know, which is a very, very common and typical human response. And when I see this guy acting like he is, to me, he's literally the same guy that was, back in the early 90s or 80s saying this internet thing just seems like it's a weird place for guys to go look at weird pictures, or this couldn't be anything good. But you have no actual understanding of what the tech does or why it's beneficial or what it can do. You're just reacting to the negative news headlines, etc. We have to educate. We have to get more of these people that are coming in to make money and use this shit to invest more of that into the educational component. Because I do think we have to lead with the tech and make people understand it. But if we don't,
I don't think you
start educating.
I don't think you need any education. I think you need good games. And we I hate sitting up here and just saying that over and over, but I don't blame the folks that aren't in this industry and hate NFT games or games that have NFTs in. Because what happened was in this last cycle, and I said this on the GM Web3 morning show, that the games that they put out in 21 were crypto games masquerading as NFT games. It was more about the actual token and how much the token went up and all this play to earn concept. And it wasn't about the NFTs. If you flip that over and say, instead, it's about NFTs and it's about ownership of the assets in the game, that's going to be what gets people on board.
I think it's both. To be honest, there's a spectrum, but mostly it's NFTs. I agree with you. There's a spectrum. There's Star Atlas type of vibes where everything is a full-blown economy, tokens. You can sell everything, resources, right? But not every game is going to be able to have that full-blown economy. So I do agree with you that for the most part, I would say like 90% of the games are only going to be about the skins, maybe your avatar, and that's about it. And that's fine. That's all we want. I have $2,000 in skins in Fortnite. I want to trade my skins, or else I'm not going back. Do they care? Maybe they don't care, but I don't care either. So whatever. Now, let me show you something because I wanted to show you this. We got to stop trying to bring these people in. We just got to deliver product. Like you said, we got to stop that. We have to stop that. Guild of Guardians, Immutable X, right here. Brings esports last year. A bunch of esports teams. You got right here. Cloud9, Fnatic, Navi, Ninjas in Pajamas. These are big esports organizations, right? Failed, right? Then you got Sandbox.
What do you mean by failed? It just completely
they got massive backlash. Okay, massive backlash. How much money did they spend to bring this orgs in? A bunch of money. And then the whole community for this Web2 just trashed them in the comment section, and they basically disappeared from this collaboration. Then we got FaZe Clan, right? This one went a little bit better. FaZe Clan is still around, but still, it wasn't that big of a win. Like, we got to stop this. Then we got Axie. Again, massive backlash with Cloud9. It's just over and over and over backlash. Why are you trying to bring this? Even if you obfuscate it, doesn't matter how you do it. Just don't even try to bring them in. Just deliver a good product. And when I say deliver a good product, we could go into some products right here. Like, I don't know, let's see, Abyss World. This is, for example, a game that I played. Abyss World right here. This is a beautiful ARPG, AAA, 200K on IGN already, right? 200K views. This is a massive, massive like AAA game. This is beautiful, and you can find NFTs in this game. We're almost there. I'm not worried about these people. I'm really not. There's many, many games like this coming out. Are they ready right now? No. That is why everything's going to line up with the bull market, with the platforms, and with better integration of wallets, email and wallets, those new email and wallets type of crap. So whatever, man. Look, we're good. We're going to be all right. We're going to be fine.
Go ahead, Gif. Oh, you're muted, Gif. See, I told you, Kagi, you're not the only one.
Kagi brought up the bull market point, and I do think also a lot of these issues magically go away when money starts flowing into the space again. Like, you'll be surprised how many people flip right around that have been talking shit. NFTs are a scam. Crypto's a scam. It's all bullshit. This whole place is a rug. As soon as BlackRock ETF or money starts flowing in and the bull runs on again, watch how many of those tourists are back.
That's what bothers me. And remember we were talking about Zynga the other day? Well, the founder of Sugartown, he tweeted, "It's not about Web3. It's all gaming." And I'm like, wait, you have Web3 in your little description. Why are you tweeting this crap? And why are you making another company, apart from Zynga, to be able to market to Web3? If Web3
plausible deniability.
Jesus Christ, man. I can't with these people, man. I can't. You either embrace or you don't. And that's fine if you don't.
Yeah. Well, we saw the same thing happen in PFP land, right? We saw like the iconic Florida get the fuck out. We're not an NFT project anymore with Doodles. So it's not just NFT gaming. You see it in some projects that are
How did that work out? Because I heard about that.
Not good. Not good initially, and you can make the claim that they're still dealing with it, but they are on the right track. The problem is the business models don't line up with making revenue for these projects that are, well known, but their floor price is trash. Like Doodles is 1.2 ETH at this point. Everything's wrecked. So I like to say they're on their way back and they're doing some dope shit, but it's not immediately going to be a return in floor price to 10 ETH, 12 ETH that they were sitting at.
So we're all broke.
All right, we are rolling out of here, folks. I do have, it looks like a trailer here. So the Heavy Metal Forge obviously went live, or like the guide there went live a day ago. And we do have a trailer now posted from Bored Ape Yacht Club. Kagi, we do see a lot of gaming projects that are popping up here in the month of September that are going live, essentially. Rec League, Parallel just launched their closed beta. There's a lot going on, to your point, on that front. Do you have any that we should be checking out today? Like, if I was going to go in the next 2 weeks to, I'll even like open that up in the next 2 months that you have your eyes set on that are dope and going to move this space forward.
Look, there's many, but ready like that, like Rec League and Parallel. Parallel is a simple game, to be honest. It's a card game. There's a bunch of good card games. You got Parallel. You also have Unchained Guardians from Immutable X. There's a bunch of good card games out there. You got Champions Arena and Gala Games that has 70,000 downloads already. Web 2 players. You see there's success right here. People are just talking crap. We're going to make it. But most of them are going to be alpha and beta. So I don't want to talk about them because they're not going to be fully out. It's just, unless you want to try them.
Win Illuvium, bro. Is Illuvium still going to make it?
Bro, you guys are delusional. Illuvium is going to be out by the end of 2024.
Don't they have a drop today?
They can have all the drops they want. That's a AAA style game, fully blown. Like, we're talking about, like, these games take 3 years, 4 years to make. I know Kieran sold everybody on, like, in 9 months we'll have the game. I knew it was BS, and I called them out on it. It's gonna make it though, but it's gonna take longer than that.
Yeah, nobody can develop and watch a high quality video game in 9 months. It's like not even the biggest publishers in the world
All right, I am fully exhausted here. This is a big episode. We packed a lot into it. We were all over the map. Biggie, I appreciate you bringing in the alpha on the art side as well, man. I know we're talking a lot about gaming. Excited to see you get on that front too, as well.
I have one last question, if you don't mind, for Kagi. We're big fans here of Based Heads, and recently they released that world for Fortnite for Marquis Brownlee. Like, they basically did a whole schematic of his studio, and you're able to it's one of the few ones that I'm really tempted to just get a controller, start jumping in and playing that game. It's not so much of a game as is them like we're building these like playable metaverses with UEF,
like an experience type of stuff.
Yeah. Have you had any experience with that? Are you bullish on that regard?
I don't have any experience with it. I know, obviously, I played Fortnite for a long time, but at the end of the day, this can bring brand recognition. That's fine. It's almost like selling like toys in Toys R Us, right? Instead of selling digital collectibles.
Yeah,
right? It's almost that's how I see it. It's like, you're expanding your brand recognition, but for me, it's just whatever, because Fortnite, it's now Web3. So I am full maxi on Web3. Like I said, I have $2,000 in Fortnite skins. And until I can trade my Fortnite skins, I'm not bullish on Fortnite.
You're done.
Yeah.
Right on.
Personally.
Cool.
But that doesn't mean shit, because Fortnite has millions of players.
Yeah. They're not sweating it, but yeah, it's good to know. Cool.
All right, folks, we're going to go out with some trailers here today. We appreciate you stopping by and joining us for NFT Live.
Nah. Thank you for having me, bro. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. I needed to speak my mind on this, and you gave me the platform.
Bro, anytime.
I'm glad you did.
Anytime you want, hop on NFT Live, bro. We're here every single day, so we appreciate you just stopping by, bro. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, if you do a clip on Twitter, let me know. I'll retweet it.
I got you, bro. All right, Biggie, I'm going to give you some last words. Gifdead, I will as well. Let me play this trailer before we go out, though, because it's going to be a little bit tough to work it into the back half of the episode. So let me just play it. This is Forward Heavy Metal Forge on Friday.
There's a lot happening there, man. I got the battles. I was getting strong Pokemon battle vibes there, but there's clearly some crafting, dude. This is chasm of complexity. So we got to do some deep Yuga show this week, man. Because
September 7th, the raid goes live. So we might as well do that tomorrow. I mean, it's in 2 days. So let's jump more into that tomorrow. Biggie, I'll let you take us out here, as well as GIF. However, whatever order y'all want. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please leave a like if you like these creators up here. Thank you for tuning into NFT Live again all week. We are here, so I appreciate y'all. OVOT, Biggie, GIF, take it away, man.
I love you, fam. See you on Thursday. Control your temper. It's one of those things that I always try to work on as best I can. But sometimes, man, it's just I get overwhelmed with passion, and so apologies for that. But I love you all. And I'll see you on Thursday.
We love you, Biggie, for your temper and your passion. And look, my dad out of nowhere texted me yesterday asking, what is Dogecoin? So I'm just going to say,
what?
Feeling bullish.
Anyway.
Our vibe, our tribe.
The goddamn blockchain. It's for criminals and goddamn scammers. God damn it. You should take out every single fucking technology that is used by scammers. Cell phones, computers, fucking shirts, fucking shoes, every fucking cash. Eliminate it from your fucking game. God damn it, how could you? How could you? How could you?